That night I had a vivid dream. It was storming on the beach, and two beautiful animals, a white horse and a golden eagle, were trying to kill each other at the edge of the surf. The eagle swooped down and slashed at the horse's muzzle with its huge talons. The horse reared up and kicked at the eagle's wings. As they fought, the ground rumbled and the monstrous voice chuckled somewhere beneath the earth, goading the animals to fight harder. I ran toward them, knowing I had to stop them from killing each other, but I was running in slow motion. I knew I would be too late. I saw the eagle dive down, its beak aimed for the horse's wide eyes, and I screamed, "No!" I woke with a start. Outside, it really was storming, the kind of storm that cracks trees and blows down houses. There was no horse or eagle on the beach, just lightning making false daylight and 20-foot waves pounding the dunes like artillery. With the next thunderclap, my mom woke. She sat up, eyes wide, and said, "Hurricane." I knew that was crazy. Long Island never sees hurricanes this early in the summer, but the ocean seemed to have forgotten. Over the roar of the wind, I heard a distant bellow, an angry, tortured sound that made my hair stand on end. Then a much closer noise, like mallets in the sand. A desperate voice, somebody yelling, pounding at our cabin door. My mother sprang out of bed in her nightgown and threw open the lock. Grover stood framed in the doorway against the backdrop of pouring rain, but he wasn't exactly Grover. "Searching all night," he gasped. "What were you thinking?" My mother looked at me in terror, not scared of Grover, but of why he had come. "Percy," she said, shouting to be heard over the rain, "what happened at school? What didn't you tell me?" I was frozen. Looking at Grover, I couldn't understand what I was seeing. Oh gosh. "Ozekai Althea," he yelled. "It's right behind me! Didn't you tell her?" I was too shocked to register he just cursed in ancient Greek, and I'd understood him perfectly. I was too shocked to wonder how Grover had gotten here by himself in the middle of the night, because Grover didn't have his pants on, and where his legs should be, my mom looked at me sternly and talked in the tone she'd never used before. "Percy, tell me now." I stammered something about the old ladies at the fruit stand and Mrs. Dodds, and my mom stared at me, her face deathly pale in the flashes of lightning. She grabbed her purse, tossed me my rain jacket, and said, "Get to the car, both of you, go." Grover ran to the Camaro, but he wasn't running exactly. He was trotting, shaking his shaggy hindquarters, and suddenly his stories about his muscular disorder in his legs made sense to me. I understood how he could run so fast and still limp when he walked, because where his feet should be, there were no feet. There were cloven hooves. Chapter 4. My mother teaches me bullfighting. We tore through the night along dark country roads, wind slamming against the Camaro. Rain lashed the windshields. I didn't know how my mom could see anything, but she kept her foot on the gas. Every time there was a flash of lightning, I looked at Grover sitting next to me in the back seat, and I wondered if I'd gone insane, or if he was wearing some kind of shag carpet pants. But no, the smell was one I remembered from the kindergarten field trips to the petting zoo. Linoleum, like from wool. The smell of a wet barnyard animal. All I could think to say was, "So, you and my mom know each other?" Grover's eyes flittered like in the rearview mirror, though there were no cars behind us. "Not exactly," he said. "I mean, we've never met in person, but she knew I was watching you." "Watching me?" "Keeping tabs on you, making sure you are okay. But I wasn't faking being your friend," he added hastily. "I am your friend." What are you exactly? That doesn't matter right now. It doesn't matter. From the waist down, my best friend is a donkey. Grover took a sharp breath. Throaty. Blah! I'd heard him make that sound before, but I'd always assumed it was a nervous laugh. Now I realized it was more of an irritated bleat. Goat! He cried. What? I'm a goat from the waist down? You just said it didn't matter. Blah! There were satyrs who should trample. Oh, man. Blah! There are satyrs who would trample you underfoot for such an insult. Whoa, wait. Satyrs? You mean like Mr. Brunner's myths? Were those old ladies at the fruit stand a myth, Percy? Was Mrs. Dodds a myth? So you admit there was a Mrs. Dodds? Of course! Then why, the less you knew, the fewer monsters who'd attack? Grover said like that should be perfectly obvious. We put mist over the humans' eyes.